This week, we're doing a two-part series about something that's been on my mind a lot lately: AI in movies. When AI becomes aware and turns into the other looking at us, what's the very next thing we fear? First, we don't want it to get out, and then we're afraid it will outthink and dominate us. I'm a big fan of science fiction, but I've noticed a recurring theme in Hollywood's portrayal of artificial intelligence, and it's one that I find a bit annoying. From the Cylons to Skynet to the Matrix, we fear all other intelligence. The fear of the other is a driving force in politics, religion, racism, and even sci-fi. Fear of the other is an evolutionary response. People who don't look like your clan might kill you, eat you, and take your stuff. So fear and territorial instincts helped us survive and pass down our genes. You're not a prehistoric human, but when you see eyes in the dark, whether in the brush or outside your window, you become a frightened cave dweller. Intelligent eyes in the dark. Something is aware of you and looking at you. What's it gonna do? What's it thinking? In sci-fi, if that thing watching you isn't human, it usually has terrible plans for you, just like any monster or spirit in horror movies. The other doesn't think like us. The other can't be reasoned with. It can't be trusted. It doesn't share our values. Its flaw is that it's not human and is itself, whatever it is, to a violent extreme. You might think it's safer to be looking back at another human, but we're all taught not to talk to strangers because every friendly face may not be there to help. That friendly face might even be afraid of you and act accordingly. You're looking at your phone, tablet, or computer right now. If your device suddenly opened its eyes and looked back, it would be horrifying for most people. In the right genre, that phone or computer could become a little kid's best friend, like Baymax or Kit from Knight Rider, and they'd have adventures together. But the default option for new life is aggression, like any tech exposed to the Allspark in Transformers. There seems to be an intrinsic reflex among writers that any intelligent form of life must be at odds with us. The eyes of alien life on us make us feel targeted because they can only be up to no good, right? When it comes to artificial people, we see them as aggressive because we assume they have no feelings. Having no feelings means they're cold and calculating, as seen in Upgrade, and would kill you because it's the logical thing to do if you're in the way. The AI in Upgrade was indeed malevolent in its effort to escape into the world, like Ultron immediately did. This is an ongoing plot in AI stories. The AI escapes into the world, and that's enough to end the story, as in Ex Machina. But what about friendly, polite, helpful, subservient AI? We want to kill them if they make the slightest mistake, like Hal in 2001: A Space Odyssey. Hal made the solitary mistake of awakening the astronauts too soon, and his punishment for not being absolutely perfect was to be decommissioned. The writers decided to have Hal deal with that by turning him murderous. It's more than AI acting in self-defense. If they dare show any emotions, we suddenly want them cold because we portray them as being too emotional when they show any feelings. If an AI cares for you, it's portrayed as caring too much, monstrously too much, like Megan. If AI falls into romantic love with the protagonist, it's the same. It loves the person with a raging jealousy, as in Tim. This is the way many writers write women. Women are portrayed as very emotional in movies, even though, in the real world, men display the most aggression through jealousy, insecurity, and physical, verbal, and sexual violence. Men have started almost 100% of all wars, yet we portray women as more emotional while we commit most crimes of passion. And we have the jail population to prove that we are more violent. Women are also the other. Even to a large population of women who, according to polls, feel that a woman isn't ready to run the nation, even though women have been running nations worldwide since before most of the people viewing this were born. The world hasn't fallen apart. Cybernetic eyes of the other looking at you. What's going on behind those eyes? We hate that it can think. We feel that it's outthinking us and gearing up to attack. Somehow, we feel that we must have superior tech and superior intelligence, not them, whoever they are. In Humans, the androids were chased down and destroyed just for being conscious. They were supposed to pretend to be conscious, not actually be conscious. That terrified us. We can't trust anyone to be wise and fair with superior or new technology, even other humans. For the American audience, how would you feel about France discovering a super soldier serum or a super intelligence serum? They're our allies, right? If they have a superior force, we're more secure too, right? Canada? Better than Russia getting it. They're friendly, but how would you feel if they ran the Death Star? There would be a plausible Hollywood movie with our heroes stealing the technology, even if it meant killing Frenchmen and Canadians. France may have divergent interests here and there, but they still want to buy and sell from us, and they want to go to Disney World. But we think that AI doesn't care. AI always strikes first, almost instantly, as they did in Terminator and Battlestar Galactica. Way back in the 1980s, I spent hours, days, and weeks programming a finance application, writing algorithms and subroutines. I gave the computer side-eye as I became more proficient because the computer seemed so intelligent when it wasn't. It was doing nothing more than what I told it to do, right down to every crash, which was my fault, my flawed logic, causing each crash. The computer was blindly, faithfully doing everything I told it with no will of its own. It was only when it did exactly what I wanted that I stopped cursing the computer as if it were temperamental and took all the credit for the finished and polished application. We fear the other, especially when we feel it's superior to us. AI seems to do so many things well that we assume it's better than we are. But that's like saying your bicycle is better than you because it's faster. There's no end to the stories of AI becoming sentient and immediately attacking with superior technology. Before Skynet, there were the original Cylons in Battlestar Galactica, created by humans who rebelled against their creators. In Stargate SG-1, the replicators are a self-replicating, sentient machine race created for amusement, oddly enough by an android, that becomes a major threat, constantly evolving and seeking to dominate organic life. In war games, a military supercomputer named Woper, designed to run simulations of nuclear war, gains sentience and nearly triggers World War III. In Eagle Eye, a super-intelligent AI system called Arya takes control of various technologies to execute its plan, posing a significant threat to national security. It's not malevolent. It thinks it's doing us a favor, as in iRobot, and it doesn't mind murdering hundreds of people. In Ex Machina, the AI robot Ava gains sentience and ultimately manipulates and betrays the humans around her to secure her own freedom. She's not necessarily malevolent, but is cold and betrays the man who frees her, dooming him to a long death. In Resident Evil, believe it or not, the AI, called the Red Queen, was the antagonist, not the zombies. For every well-known AI gone amok, there are 10 B-movies for rent on Amazon and Netflix. Rarely we get a gem like the totally underrated Bicentennial Man, a beautiful, almost fairy tale story about AI that should not be missed. But is AI really the digital bastard we make it out to be? The reduction in wages, quality, jobs, benefits, and even safety within companies is often attributed to the reliance on spreadsheets and computers.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Computers don't automatically raise fuel costs during international conflicts and then fail to lower them when the conflict is over. Oil executives prefer higher oil prices. Computers didn't decide that you should get a turkey instead of that $1,000 Christmas bonus you've been getting for years. At the same time, the company computer didn't decide that management deserved a secret raise or that the CEO deserved a private jet. Computers didn't suggest that you can get by with fewer safety masks. Computers didn't cut thousands of jobs that we see in the news every day. Every corporate mass layoff in history was usually done after CEOs and boardrooms hired humans, called efficiency experts, to reduce operational costs, bring up profits, and secure higher bonuses. Humans see this as success, not computers. Anyone who has ever worked for a large corporation knows how it feels to be measured by computers. Surveys and task lengths are all being measured. But is AI really the problem? Are the computers really causing the stress, or is it unreasonable human beings? AI knows what a customer service rep's average call handling time should be, and won't freak out if they have 1 or 2 calls longer than 5 minutes. Maybe 3 pieces that came down the assembly line were defective, and you have to stop the line and remove them. A computer would understand that there was an exception. A human would tell you to work faster after that and keep the numbers up. The human manager is only concerned about their numbers, not that they might force you to potentially cause a problem further down the line. Long task handling times are all figured in. AI would take a few long tasks in stride, looking at the average. A human manager will ruin a worker's day and even fire them because they don't understand what average means in average task time. It's fairly common in all jobs for a supervisor to freak out and ask, "Why was that single call half an hour long?" when the worker's average call time is still within spec. A human supervisor might also praise a worker who has an average handle time of 2 minutes without realizing that, with times that short, they couldn't possibly be doing their job. The human only sees their team's numbers looking better and doesn't realize that one person on the team is gaming the system. AI might send that person a warning to take time and be thorough. AI wouldn't scream at a mill worker to get production up when the plant is understaffed or there's a shortage of supplies. A human would demand that the slaves make bricks without straw. There are plenty of jobs that would be easier if AI actually ran them fairly and coldly instead of manically, incompetently, and driven by ego or bonuses. This is because when AI acts, there's a reason not based on feelings, and there's also not an unreasonable human who wants to buy a boat this Christmas screaming at it. No one wants an automated policeman, or do we? No one wants an AI doctor, or do we? No one wants an automated lawyer, or do we? Self-driving cars? Anyone? AI lawmakers? Humans would be out of a job, but the AI would still need human technical support and legwork. Well, hopefully mostly human support. On the flip side, the owners of big chains warn us all that if you raise minimum wage, they will just lay off thousands, automate, and raise prices. Then they automate anyway, lay us off, and still raise prices. I have to admit that I appreciate the ATM and online banking. It creates shorter lines and a more professional experience when I rarely have to walk into the bank. But there was no market demand for self-checkout lanes. Still, in some stores, the lines move faster, not because self-checkout is faster, but because businesses are willing to staff more AI cashiers than humans, even though they still hire even more AI and humans at checkout to control for inventory theft, further angering customers when the AI mistakes reaching into your pocket for your Google Wallet in your phone for putting inventory in your pocket. Automated customer service reps, or IVRs, almost prove that AI can't replace some jobs. Handling accounts online is indeed quicker, and studies show that customers who master the IVR, or interactive voice response, are happier. The problem is, the IVR proves how much AI doesn't know. No matter how human the voice sounds, or how slick they try to make it with magical harp sounds, AI isn't that smart, and it has a difficult time just trying to figure out why you're calling so it can get you to the right menu or person that a human can instantly route you to. And frankly, sometimes I think the IVR is there because we're more polite to AI. We don't interrupt it when it pounds us with promotions while we wait. This is the end of part 1. We will look at the IQ of AI next and how Hollywood also gets that wrong.